Oh, welcome back. We're continuing Case 2 of the second Ace Attorney Investigations game. This one we didn't get to the save point yet. We were still interrogating Mr. Sawit. We had finished the chess game. We had done one cross-examination. And now we're doing the second part of the cross-examination. So let's see what we can do, huh? So this is how we're going to find out how he was able to get out without tripping the alarm. Alright, here we go. There's a little trick we prisoners know about, you see. Alright. Oh, so I'm just double checking to make sure that we're streaming. Okay, yes, it is streaming. That's good. Okay. As long as you leave your bracelet inside the door, you can lean out without triggering the alarm. That's how I was able to peek through the window and into the workshop next door. Inside, I spotted the victim's dead body, which made me scream in fright. So he's saying he was able to take a look next door because he had kept his arm inside Workshop B as he leaned out. Please don't tell anyone about our little trick. Especially not the guards. Please? Is this it? Is this all he was hiding? I'd better dig a little deeper into his testimony just in case. Yeah, I think we're gonna need to press him since he only has 3 statements. So I don't think we need to do the first one.
Hold it!
I suppose this allows you to enjoy a little taste of freedom? It does, to be honest. It's one of the few things that brings me joy anymore. A rather surprising source of joy, but rule-breaking isn't exactly a demonstration of remorsefulness, is it? Oh, but I am remorseful. I always am. I'm a model prisoner, after all. I'm beginning to suspect that he doesn't know what a model prisoner actually is. So you use this trick to peek through the window. That's right, yes. I made sure the guard wasn't looking and leaned out into the corridor.
Hold it!
How did you make so much of an effort just to take a look? Well, you see, I heard noises coming from the next door. And that room was supposed to be empty, so I thought it was strange. And you went to look as soon as you heard these noises. Yes, of course, I had to see what was going on, so I went right away. I see. There are any problems with Mr. Sawit's dead? Sure. You claim that you looked into the next room as soon as you heard some noise. If that's the case, you must have seen more than just the dead body. Because the person who made the noises should have been in there, too. You got him quaking in his boots, Mr. Edgeworth. God, I love her surprised face. It cracks me up every time. Also, she has green eyes. Did you notice that last game? Yeah, but she's only been in one game, so you can only see it one game. Yeah. Mr. Sauce, tell us the truth about what you saw. You do, of course, have the right to remain silent, but it will do little to dispel the notion that you were somehow involved in this crime. I'm sorry. I did see something else, but it's too insane to believe. I really thought I must have dreamt it. That's why I wasn't sure if I should mention it. Just tell us what you saw. Alright. It was that dog. And what I saw is the stuff of nightmares. That huge black dog had sunk his terrible teeth into the victim's throat. What did you just say? It was hellish, utterly hellish. That beast, that awful beast, he killed him. Suddenly I don't feel so good. Jeepers creepers! That's awful. Talk about traumatizing. It was dreadful, horrible. Now you know why I couldn't help but scream. So there's a man-eating dog in the prison's animal population, is there? You know, we saw that close-up of the dog's bloody mouth in the intro to this case.
Maybe he's trying to wake him up. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was probably like, it looked like it was eating him, but it was actually trying to remove the collar from him, so...
Or maybe he was being groomed by him and
Yeah.
thought it was his friend and was worried.
The dog doesn't seem to like him very much. And that really is everything, I promise. You believe me, don't you? I actually do believe him there. For now, this one seems too far-fetched a lie, even for you. I'd like you to append what you just told us to your testimony, if you don't mind. Very well.
Hold it!
How much do you remember about the man you saw? Oh, I remember everything. Let's see. He had blonde hair and his neck was covered in blood because he was dead. Yes, we know that, Mr. Saw. Thank you very much. I'm just telling you what I saw. I thought you attorneys were obsessed with the little details. There's some serious venom behind those words. Something tells me he may not have had the best experience with defense attorneys in the past.
Hold it!
I also saw that black dog. You're sure this black dog was biting the victim's throat? Yes, there was blood everywhere. Beast's mouth was dripping with it, and... Whoa, 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 spare us the gory details, will you? What about the victim? Was he... Don't say it, don't say it. Do you really need to ask him that, Mr. Edgeworth? Ah, okay. What was that punch for? I'm on your side here. He wasn't moving at all. He was just lying there. Meaning he was already dead. There was so much blood just oozing from his neck. Ooh, he was dead as a doornail, I'm sure of that. Not even the twitch of a finger, just lifeless. Eek, enough already. Why do you have to go into every little detail like that? To give you a nice and accurate testimony, that is what you want, isn't it? Shall I add what I said to my testimony, Mr. Edgeworth? Please do. It was awful, I tell you, terrible. He was dead as a doornail, I'm sure that not even the twitch of a finger, just lifeless. I remember seeing his ring gleaming as it caught the light. It featured a snowflake motif in relief. Man, he had a two statements.
Hold it!
Paint a very vivid picture. Well, I had a front row seat, I suppose. I could almost feel the agony of the poor man's final moments. I don't think I'll be getting any sleep tonight, Mr. Edgeworth. You won't? Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, and it's all your fault for pressing him for more gory details. I'll be having nightmares tonight myself. It's all still so fresh in my memory. Oh, where would he see the ring, though?
Is that how we originally found them?
Yeah. I think it's this.
Objection!
A ring with a snowflake relief. Yes, I saw it clear as day. It was carved in such fine detail. Interesting. Your testimony is certainly very accurate. In fact, I'd say it's just a little too accurate. And what's wrong with being too accurate? I mean this, you testified to having seen a ring with a snowflake design on it. And while the victim did indeed have a ring on his finger, see exactly as I said. There's no way you could have seen it. Take a look at this photograph. As you can see, the victim's right hand was covered by a tarp. It would have been impossible for you to see his ring, let alone what design was on it. Unless, that is, you approached the body and removed the sheet. You told us earlier you only took a look through the window and the door. Yet you seem to have seen quite a lot from such a disadvantaged location, Mr. Sawit. Who the heck do you think you are, huh? Mr. Big Shock acting like you know it all. I mean, I saw what I saw, I swear. Oh, I know, the man's arm. It must have moved under that tarp after I peeked in.
Objection!
But he was dead. Nonsense, you already told us that can't have been the case. You said it yourself that the victim was already dead, and dead men don't move, do they? Ooh-wee! Is that the stench of, the desperation I smell? What are you hiding, Mr. Saw? Tell us. Oh, no, You're wrong. I know what I saw. Ah! Ah!
Whoa!
He did it again. This time Edward got it. You couldn't let it go, could you? Had to keep on poking and prodding. You slimy, two-bit associate attorney! It seemed the real Mr. Saw has finally revealed himself. Whoa, that's quite the rug he was rocking. Came straight at you like some kind of flying black cat. Look, I'm just a sweet, innocent witness here. But are you really? Because I must say I have doubts, very serious doubts. What's that supposed to mean? You saw something that should have been impossible to see from outside the workshop. So how did you do it? That's simple. Mr. Sawat, this is where you were standing when you saw the body.
Take that!
You were in the same room as the body. That's the only way you could have seen the relief on the ring. Ha! Ha ha! Say what you want, but you don't have a shred of evidence, do you? Nothing to prove I was in the room with the body, anyway. You can't prove it, can you? Because I was in the next room over, minding my own business and looking after the animals. Why else would I have signed out a pair of rubber gloves? For fun? Now put up or shut up. I want to see evidence that proves I was in the room with the body.
Take that!
Remind me, Mr. Sonic, what were you doing when you discovered the body? How many times I was practicing my pet styling techniques. Of course, then perhaps this rubber glove might mean something to you? Ah, This glove was found by the victim's body. I believe it was dropped by the killer. And I can't help but notice that you have a similar glove tucked into your apron. No, this one's different. Yes, that one does seem awfully lonely, doesn't it? It's just a rubber glove. There are hundreds of them all over the prison. This doesn't prove anything. Not yet, perhaps, but if I were to ask the police to check this glove for prints, I have a feeling the results would be rather fascinating. I guess this is his meltdown?
Objection!
What the? That was a pretty rad objection, am I right? Please, Fender, now is not the time for tomfoolery. But I have a legit objection because this isn't over. There's something that still doesn't make sense. Our man here's a prisoner, right? And he's got one of those bracelet doohickeys on. That's true, so how could he have left his workshop in the first place? His bracelets would have triggered the alarm if he tried. Right, we don't have a good explanation for that yet. Well, anything you'd like to share, good buddy? We're all friends here. That's weird. It should be clinging onto that bracelet like a... I think it's clinging onto that bracelet like the big round lifesaver it is. In what way? As in, it's the best hope our wig-flinging friend here has for getting off the hook for murder. Sorry, can't get into the crime scene with a bracelet on. If it was me, I'd be arguing that for my life. And yet he hasn't said a peep about it. I wonder why that might be, Well, I thought... Didn't we establish he left his workshop because... He left his workshop because he had his leg in the door? I thought that's what we said. The sound of silence. I suppose Miss Law Priestess did preach that silence is golden yesterday, too. Whoa, you sounded like an actual attorney for a second there, Mr. Fender. The worst of times are when lawyers calmly show our biggest smiles. Gregory taught me that. It was part of the attorney's code he lived by. So, friend, what's the dealio? Why so coy about your bracelets? Well, to tell you the truth, it's broken. Broken? I fell over a little while back, you see, and hit it on the floor. After that, it didn't seem to set the sensors off anymore. I should have told the guards about it, I know, but, well, it was awfully convenient. I see, so your bracelet is broken. But do they really break that easily? If so, then this prison has a serious security problem. You there, we have a moment? Aren't you just the cutest? Ahem. Meow, can I help you, sir? This prisoner's bracelet appears to be broken. What, really? That's not good. I'll get someone to find a replacement right away. Thank you. Keep hold of the broken one for the time being. Of course, sir. I trust you'll take good care of it. Sweet, bracelet sorted. Now to turn our murderer in, yeah? What? No, I didn't kill anybody. Well there, Palio, you were the one who said your bracelet was out of commission. Or were there other inmates freely roaming the halls while everybody was busy watching the show? No, I just found the body, that's all, I promise. And when I did, that enormous dog still had his mouth wrapped around the poor man's neck. I only went into the workshop after the beast had left. Why did you go in? Well, oh, fine, I wanted to go through his pockets, okay? He was going to rob the corpse. That explains why he remembers Knight's ring in so much detail. Hey, why are you looking at me like that? I'm a great thief. I never stoop so low as to steal from a... Well, I didn't steal anything either. The show ended just after I'd entered the room, and all the other inmates came trickling downstairs thereafter. I panicked, rushed over to the other workshop, and started my fake screaming. And dropped the glove in your haste, huh? I guess this all just about hangs together. Anything smell funky to you, Miles? Other than whether Mr. Sod is the one who did it, I'd say one very significant question still remains. The question of how Knight made it into the prison proper from his holding cell in the detention center. Ooh, yeah, that one's a doozy. I also can't help but wonder about another key feature of Mr. Sod's testimony. That dog's involvement can only mean one thing. Mr. Sod. Yes, what is it? Were you the only prisoner who didn't go to watch the show? Well, no, there was one other who didn't. Am I right in thinking that this person couldn't have watched the show even if he'd wanted to? Yes, how did you... I knew it. I had my suspicions when we first ran into that black dog yesterday, but this confirms it. For a criminal that dangerous to end up in a place like this is unbelievable, but... Where is this person's cell? You're going to see him? Who are we talking about here? Him! He's not like the other prisoners, you know. He's special. Gets treated like royalty. But you didn't hear that from me. All I'll say is if you value your life, you'll stay well away from him. What? Will you please stop trying to scare us all the time? The big cheese, huh? Well, I for one definitely value my life, so that sucks. They keep him in maximum security. Which is over there. Maximum security. Well, that's certainly one way of treating someone differently. Alright, quit being so mysterious and tell us who he is already. Let's just say he's highly skilled when it comes to people's lives. Better than anyone, in fact. And that's all I'm prepared to say on the subject. In fact, I may have already said too much.
Did Shelly the killer?
I think Shelly the killer left. He was never caught. Well, Milesy, anything you care to share, or are you going to leave Kay and I in the dark here too? The mystery man in maximum security is an old acquaintance. Let's go pay him a visit. I suspect we'll find our dark canine friend there too. Makes me wonder. He does have a very fancy cell. Whoa, it's pitch black in there. I can't see a thing. But didn't you say that the Yatagarasu takes flight even in the dead of night or something? Even in the depths of night, when no other bird dares to take flight. One alone soars to shine the light of righteousness on the world's blight. And that one is me, for I am the great thief Yatagarasu. Whoa, you are one powerful performer. Thanks, but that doesn't help me see in the dark. I'm a human, not a three-legged raven. So, I'm having an issue. I ate so much of your pecan pie that my stomach's feeling weird. Can I count on you to read for a little bit? I'll interject, but
I'm like a third grader.
all right, I'm gonna need you to read like a fourth grader then. Okay,
Okay.
here you goes.
How do I proceed?
X.
Eek! Who's the dog? The dog has come. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Okay, the dog was creepy.
Mr. Edwards? That voice. I knew it. It's been far too long. You remember me? I could hardly forget now, could I? After all, you are the one who put me away. Mr. Edwards, are you talking to that dog? Or is there someone else in there? Still can't see a dang thing. Oh, but I am forgetting myself. Forgive me. I do not often receive visitors. One moment, I will turn on the lights. Hey, you are heavy-footed lot. Am I right in thinking there are 3 of you in all? So he's blind?
What is that?
I don't know this person. Do you know him?
No, I don't know if by old acquaintance it's somebody we're supposed to be familiar with, or if it's just an old acquaintance.
Very well. Perhaps we should start by introducing ourselves. I am Bodahid Harmakanis.
Botted Harmacanis. Botted Harmacanis?
Like body Harmakanis? Okay. We're going to call him Canis.
Yeah.
As you may have gathered, Mr. Edgeworth and I are old acquaintances. Canis was a notorious assassin. Some knew him as the Blind Butcher. His only weapons were a vicious hunting hound and a fearsomely sharp knife. His appearance was always announced by the sound of bells, the last sound his victims would ever hear. Well, Mr. Edward, am I to guess why you have come to see me? You know why I'm here. In fact, I'm willing to bet you know every detail of this sordid little affair already. Then I suppose we have nothing to hide from one another.
Aw, that was kind of cute, actually.
But then that means that the dog went to jail with him.
It's strange,
Yeah.
but
Your faithful canine friend is currently the chief suspect in a murder investigation. The person who found the body saw a dog with its mouth around the victim's throat. Your witness is mistaken. Helmut is a gentle soul. He is my eyes, nothing more. It is absurd to think that he would do such a thing, isn't it, boy? Yes, it is. You're a good boy, aren't you? Helmut is more than a mere seeing eye dog, and he's certainly no good boy. He's also a trained killer. A weapon once used in this man's sordid trade. This witness of yours, he is trustworthy, I assume? Saw is anything but trustworthy, and he's still very much a suspect himself. Can hardly claim that his testimony is beyond reproach. And no, then, I thought as much. Yes, I did, Helmut, yes. It figures that he already knew who our witness is. What were you doing between 8 a.m. and 8 and 10 a.m. yesterday morning, Mr. Canis? During the show, you mean? I was here, ensconced in these humble surroundings. I have developed a passion for wood carving, you see. An obsession, even. I was engrossed in it all morning. And you have permission to engage in such hobby? I can't believe someone would actually let you. The warden and I have an understanding. An understanding? That's ridiculous. This man shouldn't be allowed 1, let alone 5 chisels. And nothing but lethal weapons in his hands. I was carving Buddhist pieces at first, but by the 674th, my interest had begun to wane. Whoa, that must have taken forever. Time is all I have, child. In any case, my focus is now shifting to pieces such as these. Chess pieces? I didn't know you played chess. Look, isn't that the Hound of the Baskervilles? It has 3 heads.
I mean, I always just figured it's a Cerberus.
Okay, maybe.
The Hound of the Baskervilles, isn't that just the Hound from the Sherlock Holmes story, the Hound of the Baskervilles?
Yeah, wasn't it three-headed or something?
I thought it was just a regular dog.
I didn't know you played chess. You play too, do you not, prosecutor? Perhaps one day you might indulge me. Though you may find my game rather rudimentary, I only began after my arrival here, I'm afraid. What's that piece? A dog with 3 heads. Ah yes, the dogs of war. You must forgive my little joke. Chess is, after all, a game of war. Soldiers, knights, castles, all doing their utmost to protect the king, all loyal to the last. I have always thought it strange that such a game has no place for a dog. After all, what more loyal weapon could any army call upon? Still, it's simply a piece I made for fun. Fear not, I play by the regular rules, and with the regular pieces. I can't imagine it's easy finding opponents to play here in prison, though. Oh, I have my correspondence. Correspondence chess, then? Sharing moves by post? Yes, even prisoners are allowed to send and receive letters. Their contents are inspected, of course. Although I have yet to receive the details of my current opponent's next move. Dog chess piece data jotted down in my organizer. Sounds like this current opponent isn't a resident here. I suppose you know the identity of the deceased, Mr. Canis? His name was Bronco Knight, was it not? Poor unfortunate soul. You keep your ear to the ground? My ear's all I have. Mr. Edgeworth. Why am I not surprised that he's plugged into the prison's information network? But perhaps he was not so unfortunate after all. What do you mean? Mr. Knight's crime was a grave one, a crime for which he would have been made to pay dearly anyway. The attempted assassination of a president. That is no small matter. Attempted assassination? Wait, Mr. Edgeworth. Didn't Mr. Knight... Yes, we proved that he murdered his team leader, and that there was no attempt on the president's life. Could it be? Are they attempting to cover up President Wang's fake assassination scheme? Oh, there, cowboy, you're saying the Bronxer didn't actually have a pop at the Prez? I was hired to defend him on the charge of attempted murder.
Oh, wow.
You mean you don't know what really happened? So what, they just blamed the whole assassination thing on Mr. Knight? It would explain why the committee was so keen to get involved. Of course, they took you off the case to try to keep you away, and swapped in the Wheeler kid to push through an attempted murder charge. In other words, they're trying to cover up the truth. So they really were trying to frame him. According to the guards, this night was it. They tell me he was violently insistent that he had attempted no assassination, which would come out anyway when the case went to trial. I am no expert in legal matters, but allow me to say this one thing. I know for certainty that he would not have been the first inmate in prison on false pretenses. An uncomfortable fact, but a fact nonetheless. Yes, Hamlet, yes, it is, yes. The courtroom is not always the bastion of truth you believe it to be, Mr. Edgeworth. No bastion of truth, huh? I've heard something to that effect before. Yes, from a certain Interpol agent who doesn't have much faith in prosecutors. You're not trusting the truth behind those closed courtroom doors, are you? Fueled by the kind of thinking, it is any wonder that courts produce nothing but falsities and lies. Sorry, but the truth doesn't need the likes of you to distort it today. I never was able to fully dispel his mistrust of prosecutors. Even Helmut understands. Don't you, Helmut? Yes, you do. The truths revealed in court and your deductions, it is dangerous to trust either implicitly. Implicitly?
Implicitly.
But I am not bitter. You are not the first to make a subject of unfounded suspicion in recent days. In fact, I was examined by another prosecutor only yesterday. He was accompanied by a judge. They even dragged the warden along, her distaste for me lingering unspoken in the air. Not those two again. Prosecutor Winner and Judge Gavel. They went over my cell with a fine-tooth comb, but they left empty-handed. They were looking for the murder weapon, I believe, to no avail. But I mustn't take it personally. Rumor has it that they searched every cell in the prison and still failed to find what they were looking for. I pray they weren't too disappointed. Okay.
Isn't it kind of creepy every time the dog looks inside of his face, an evil smile pops up?
Yeah.
It's very disturbing.
One more question than an answer. What do we do now? Saad's testimony is flimsy at best. I'll need more proper evidence if I want to take Thomas on. Well, I think that's quite enough chit-chat for one day. Helmut will show you out. Hey boy, Helmut, go on now. He's not showing us out permanently, right? Let's get out of here. Come on. Until next time, Mr. Thomas. It does pain me that our brief time must end, just as we were becoming reacquainted. I await your return, Mr. Edgeworth.
Is she hiding on top of that?
Mm-hmm.
Cute.
Oh my god, evidence. I need to bolster my case. Hey, Mr. That's the best hiding spot she could find? It's alright, Kay. You can come down now. Where's Fender? He ran off somewhere. I had no idea he could move that fast. Sigh. Fender. So, what do we do now? You and I will continue the investigation, and I know just where to start. By solving that one particular mystery that's been dodging us the whole time. Knight's body was found in one of the prison's workshops, but he was presumably being detained in one of the detention center's holding cells. So how did he wind up on the other side of those heavy security doors? So we can search this place. Let's start by investigating the holding cells.
Yeah.
Should I screw that? What about Mr. Fender? I'm sure he'll find us when he's ready? Sure, but he is kind of our boss, isn't he? Oh well. Victim's cell is just over there. Lead the way, Mr. Edgeworth. I have just about had it. Who's that? Warden Lagarde. She must have come from the quarter marked no entry. He's still not talking, ma'am. Even with the evidence you borrowed from the precinct? No, and I've tried so many times, I've lost count. What am I supposed to do? I can't send in a blank report. I guess a killer for hire was always going to be a tough nut to crack. The killer for hire? Oh. Couldn't help overhearing Warden Lagarde, but were you just talking about Quadhid Parmacanis? My, you were listening. How very gauche of you. A girl's privacy is her armor, you know. Do you normally conduct interrogations of the man yourself? Oh, it's not just him, darling. I try to have the occasional... What is that?
So, Kristoff said the same thing to us, and I wish I looked up the pronunciation, because that's dogged me for like 16 years.
Let's just say chit-chat. The occasional chit-chat with everyone you see.
Okay.
That's what it means to be a member of the family in this little home of ours. There isn't a person who hasn't made the pilgrimage to my office at least once. Your office? How sweet, he's angling for an invite. Well, I suppose it is the hottest ticket in town. It's down this corridor here, darling, but FYI, I don't let just anybody wander in willy-nilly. Let's see, that would put it right around here. It's a wonderful room, if I do say so myself. All my guests rave about it. And who wouldn't want a view of my fabulous garden and yard? Ooh la la. The yard? If anything's like the rest of this place, it's probably full of adorable animals, right? Can I see? Building layout data updated in my organizer. Oh, darling, it's so sweet of you to take an interest, but I'm afraid that's just not possible. What? Because you're not a member of our home. If you want to see it that bad, you'll just have to get convicted for doing something unspeakable. That's a rather steep price to pay. Oh, but just listen to me, chattering away like there's no tomorrow. It's time for Allie's lunchy brunch. The poor dear will be dying. Allie? The sweetest little dear in all the world. I know I shouldn't have favorites, but you know how it is. Now to the yard with me. Ciao for now, darlings.
That fox is so cute.
I wanted to ask her more about Canis, but she dominated that conversation from start to finish. So, let's go investigate the victim's cell, shall we? So this is Knight's cell. When do you think he was brought in, Mr. Edgeworth? It would have had to have been the evening of the 25th, just after the events of the lake. And then at some point, he wound up in the prison proper. Wow. There must be some evidence here that will point us in the right direction. Alright, let's get looking. Edgeworth.
He's like I can control him.
Good job. Shall seems to like anything that catches my attention. Ooh, what's a mini gaming here, Mr. Edward? It seems that those held in the detention center are able to choose what they'd like to eat each day. If they can afford it, that is. Money makes the world go round, I guess. But doesn't that make life super easy for rich detainees? Well, okay, bear in mind, the people held in these cells haven't been found guilty yet. Some of them don't deserve to be punished quite of a...
I think it should just say quite a few of them, in fact. I think it's a translation error.
Okay, so you're saying it's fine that people with money don't have the hardest time of it as everybody else? Or how do I wind up defending the practices of the detention system? Oh, that's a lot of books. Let's take a look. You'll laugh tomorrow in Anthology. Understanding Animal Emotions. Life as a Pet Stylist. Maybe there was more to Mr. Knight than met the eye. Sadly, I don't think these were his. They were likely specially selected and placed in here for the detainees.
Makes sense.
With the hope that they would want to better themselves during their time here. Second Chance Life interviews with a former prisoner. These books appear to have been written by current model prisoners and former inmates.
That means Sod must have written one. He's a model prisoner.
Oh, I like the look of this one. 200 Days to Freedom, an escape story. And this one too, making money while serving time. This facility may have more deeply rooted problems than I thought. Hey, look at this weird piece of paper. There's some sort of grid on it. Let's take a closer look. Next move, bishop to g2. What next? Rook, no. Pawn to g6. The grid appears to be a chess diagram of victims, I suppose. What's a chess diagram? A visual representation of a game of chess. See how the locations of all the pieces. This seems to be a closely fought contest, but perhaps if this pawns were no way. Not now, Mr. Edgeworth. This is no time to be playing games. Yes, I suppose you're right. This isn't the first time I've seen this configuration of pieces.
Was he facing Canis?
It was from a different perspective, but it was definitely the same game. Perhaps it would be wise to take another look at the evidence in my possession.
Yep. Same configuration as the one in Conus's. Oh, well, in that case, the deuce.
Eureka!
This chess game, I've seen it before. Enough with the chess chat, Mr. Edwards. We're supposed to be investigating here. Focus. I am investigating. This particular bit of chess chat could prove to be vital. Now, take a look at this. Can you tell me what it is? It's the chess set we saw in Mr. Canis' cell. But, I don't really know the rules of chess, so the rules of the game are not important here. What is important are the positions of the pieces. Compare this one in Mr. Canis' cell with these. Do you notice anything? Ah. I don't know which piece is which or anything, but if you turn the diagram like this, there are pieces in the same squares. Indeed, there's no dog in the diagram, but that's to be expected. Apart from that, however, the positions of the pieces are identical. And what does this tell us? Oh, I have my correspondence. As unlikely as it seems, Mr. Canis' chess opponent was Mr. Knight. This could be just the proof we need to show that Mr. Canis had a connection to the victim. Chess diagram data jotted down in the organizer. I must scour the scene and inspect anything that catches my attention. It's supposed to be Knight's suit jacket. Oh, and what have you discovered? I discovered that guys who look good in suits tend to be popular with the ladies. But don't worry, guys with frilly neck ruffles are next on my research list. Please stop. Hey look! This newspaper got a chunk of it missing. You're right, a few of its pages have been roughly torn out. But why? Maybe Mr. Knight wanted to clean his cell, but didn't have a cleaning cloth? It's not a totally implausible theory, I suppose, but who would try to clean his cell? This bed doesn't look very comfortable. But that pillow cover is very clean and spotless, in fact. I bet this is the kind of bed Gummy sleeps in. I can just picture it, can't you? No, I think he's more of a mattress on the floor type. Oh, camera. Reflected in this mirror is security camera, a great thief's greatest enemy. Nothing about this place is very thief-friendly, if I'm being honest. I think that might be entirely deliberate, Kay. Guard? I'd like you to see the footage from the security camera and review it as carefully as you can. If you see anything out of the ordinary, inform me immediately. Yes, sir. A standard barred window, no signs of it having been tampered with. I don't think there's any chance our killer escaped through here. Ah, must remember to bring something to saw through iron bars with. As they say, fail to prepare, prepare to fail. Finally got the chance to split this place up. Okay, we're investigating a crime scene, not preparing for your eventual escape. The bowl was nice and spotless. And there are no signs that the toilet paper has been used. Everything seems to be in order with this toilet here. What? Are you serious? Why, what's wrong? There's no door. There's not even a curtain. Whoever science place should have thought a little bit more about who have to live here. I think there might be a reason behind the open plan layout.
Oh, we forgot something here? Oh, the dust there.
There's something different about this spot here. The tile floor is weirdly clean. Did somebody wipe it down or something? I said that was something.
Yeah, I didn't even
Why
think.
would somebody only do the part right next to the bed, though? The floor has been wiped clean. Maybe he spilled some grape juice. Who knows? But we can certainly imagine what he used to do the wiping. The torn out pages of the newspaper. Why wouldn't he just ask her for a cloth or something tough?
So,
Perhaps he didn't want anyone to see what he was wiping up.
I'm gonna try again.
Okay.
I think we've about exhausted this cell. We've made significant progress by establishing a connection between Mr. Canis and the victim. This is bad, sir. Is that the guard? Security camera footage, sir. I watched it, and... What is it? Can you show it to us? Yes, sir. I have a small playback monitor with me. Then what are you waiting for? Let's see it.
Is it the dog?
It looked like...
Smaller than the dog.
Yeah. It looked almost like a bat. Until now, our assumption was that the crime had taken place inside the prison proper, but it seems that assumption may have been wrong. It had actually been attacked in this location. Detention center.
Take that!
Right here in the detention center. And the perpetrator was indeed Mr. Canis' dog. This is just the evidence we need.
I don't know, he looked smaller than me.
Yeah.
And he was skinny.
And if this is where Knight was actually murdered, then one of the pieces of evidence here in his cell takes on a whole new meaning. If Knight's cell was the crime scene, which piece of evidence takes on new significance? Well, the white floor does.
Take that!
This floor of Knight's cell was wiped clean, presumably to remove something. Could that something have been his blood? Thank you, officer. Would you mind doing me one more favor? Let's take a look again at, Oh, we can't look at it again? Name it, sir. There's a detective by the name of Gumshoe somewhere in this facility. I need you to give him a message. Tell him to have this cell tested for traces of blood and to report the results to Edgeworth. You got it, sir. Now we can really go after that Canis guy, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Or Canis, or whatever it is. No, not yet. We still don't know how Knight and the dog moved between his cell and the prison proper. Right, that's what we need to figure out next. What's the play, coach? Where are we off to? I suspect one of the guards might know something. We should ask those posted nearby and see what they have to tell us. Okay, time to get asking, huh? Hey! Thanks for the tour, later. Well, well, Mr. Prosecutor and his little friend. I didn't expect to run into you here. Must be my lucky day. This is Agent Shilong Lang of Interpol. He was in charge of a case I worked on 2 weeks back. I thought he had gone home to Zhang-Fa after that, but here he is. You had some business to take care of, I take it, Agent Lang. You could say that. Nothing that need concern you, though. Hee, first a black hound, now a wolf all in black. Hey, wait, why are you all alone today? That's true. He's usually accompanied by an army of police officers. I hear you were out of the gate a couple days back, sticking your nose into things. A couple days back? Ah, he must be in the incident with the president of Zhang-Fa. Actually, I had thought you might be there as well, heading up the security detail. Our president doesn't have much faith in the efficacy of his own country's police force. Maybe now he'll think twice before using contractors again, amateurs. Agent Lang doesn't have much faith in prosecutors or the courts to do their jobs right, which is why he's so meticulous about investigating with his hand-picked cream-of-the-crop officers. Indeed, no doubt things would have turned out differently had you and your men been in charge. My men, huh? Yeah, those guys aren't around anymore. What, they're not? It's funny, isn't it? I'm a real lone wolf now. Ha 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 ha. What are you saying, Agent Lang? What on earth happened? I told you, it doesn't concern you. See you around, Mr. Prosecutor. Wow, he seemed not okay. Yes, and I very much would like to know why, but there's nothing we can do about it right now. We'll worry about Agent Lang later. We have an investigation to discuss. Let's start by asking these guards. Oh man, I'm in so much trouble. What's the matter? You seem perturbed. Oh, well, you see, one of my uniforms is missing.
Uh-oh.
I could have sworn it was right here in my locker. Did it grow a pair of legs and run off somewhere? Where in the world did that idea spring from? Anyway, I hope you track it down soon. I'll be rooting for you. Thanks, I appreciate it. Oh boy. These are the guards' lockers. I bet they keep their uniforms in there, snacks too. Snacks? Really? Well, that's what I'd keep in there if it were me. You know that not everyone is you, though, right? I was wondering, have you seen an enormous black dog wandering around here recently? That thing? No way. If I had, I'd... Well, let's just say I'd be a lot more nervous about standing guard here. So, do you and this dog have some kind of history or something? Now, Kay, you should know when to let sleeping dogs lie. By the sound of it, Candace's dog hasn't been spotted on this side of these heavy security doors. Hey, are those my faithful assistants I see before me? Fender, and where exactly have you been? Where have I been? I've been looking for you two, been searching high and low. Wandering lonelily through the prison halls. It was terrible, I tell you. But the prison's over there on the other side of the facility, boss. So listen, I just got the lowdown on some seriously dynamite material. You want to hear it, right? Right? Seamless. I was chatting with a few of the guards, and they told me something très intéressant. Turns out the Bronxter had himself a little incident 2 days ago. Pre-mortem, if you catch my drift. An incident? Simeon told you he came to visit his pal, right? Well, it happened right after they wrapped up, when Bronco was being escorted back to his cell. It was just one guard, and he was handcuffed, obs. They'd made it back, and the guard was taking off his cuffs when the Bronxter clobbered him, knocked the poor guy out cold. Sounds like it might have been the prelude to a jailbreak. Because when the other guards showed up, they couldn't find their comrade's keys. Were there any rumblings about Knight attempting an escape? That's the bit that fries the old noggin. There were none. He just sat in his cell, then turned up dead. And what's more, he swore right to the end that he never stole the keys. They turned his cell inside out too, but no dice. The guard who was struck, what did he have to say? Nothing. Poor guy was still out when they took him to the hospital. Word is, he's still there. So there's nobody around to tell us what really happened. So one of the guards had his keys stolen, the other guard had his uniform stolen. What the G losers? That's all we need. Why are you still hanging around here like a bad smell? Hey there, little buddy. Listen, Miles here is working with me now as an associate. Nonsense. You're all just here to cause trouble and turn my investigation into a fart. I think he means a farce. His Staus means farce, of course. A simple slip of the tongue. Seemed like a reasonably apt choice of words to me. Judge Gavel. Great to see you again. I know who you are. You are Simeon Saint's attorney. Guilty as charged. Now that we've broken the ice, how about a friendly... Or not. I'm totally cool either way. Now, did I hear you correctly that Mr. Edgeworth has joined the defense team? Yep, and me too. We're officially employees of Edgeworth and Company. But a prosecutor is a public servant. You would draw your sword on the goddess to work for personal gain? It's not a problem if I'm not getting paid, though, correct? Exactly what he said. Miles here is just a volunteer. We're all about the pro bono stuff over at Edgeworth & Co. How wonderful. So you all work without reward. The goddess would surely approve. Yeah, I'm a regular philanthropist. Judge Gavel, I was hoping to ask about the grounds for Simeon Saint's arrest. That information is on a need. Is that a challenge, I hear? No, I was just asking Judge Gavel. I'm always ready for a little verbal combat to show you what it takes to be a real winner. How is it verbal combat if you won't let me speak? Still, this could prove useful. Fine, we'll do as you suggest. Now, if you could begin by telling us why Mr. Saint was arrested. There will be no need for that. Estaus, we may... Ha, not now, Gavel. Watch and wonder. As I put this pathetic prosecutor in his place, he's going to run rings around me. If he runs rings around him, wouldn't that be... I think you meant to say that you would be the one running rings around me. And I will, so badly that your ears will be ringing. Prepare to be humbled, Edgeworth. You want to know why I arrested that man? It's simple. Simple! I found evidence. Evidence of him all over that thing. How's that for some willingly incontrovertible, conclusive proof? You just saw the truth first. Why, me, of course. Winner by name, winner by nature. Where do I even begin? Look at you, utterly lost for words in the face of such mastery. I'll take your silence as yet another win. Honestly, does he ever shut up? You said you were the one who arrested Mr. Saint. But do you even have the authority to do so, Mr. Winner? Well, obviously it was the police who actually arrested him. But I told them to do it, so I think I can claim the credit, don't you? Of course that's what he meant. This is clearly going to take a while. A shame, really. Given that I'm much more interested in what Judge Gavel is silently thinking over there.
Hold it!
Evidence of him was all over that thing. Could you be a little more specific, Mr. Winner? Do I really have to spell it out for you, Mr. Edgeworth? I'd hoped even you could put two and two together. Stop messing around. The onus is on you to provide a comprehensible testimony. Come now, Estaus. Stop. I know how the...
I think it's Eustace.
Eustace? Come on, Eustace. I'm sure Mr. Edgeworth and his friends would be very interested to learn how you cracked the case. They certainly look keen to hear about it. Fine, if you insist, I'll fill in the gaps. Brace yourselves, because this is going to blow your tiny little minds. I bet you didn't even know, but the victim had, wait for it, a chess set with him. And the chess set was covered in the fingerprints of a certain Mr. Simeon Saint. Praise be to the goddess of justice for the insight she offers, and congratulations once again, Eustace, he said.
I think so.
Eustace. Eustace sounds right to me. It sounds like a name. You would not object to Eustace amending his testimony, I trust, Mr. Edgeworth? No, by all means, please do. But it was brought to him at the request by Saint. So that's no
Yeah,
proof
because
of
they're supposedly best friends, and he really likes chess, so he asked his friend to bring him a chess set.
Yeah.
What my understanding is what happened.
Yeah, so my understanding then with this would be objectionable. Also, it cracks me up that his little Viennese waltz is the cross-examination music. So the fingerprints on the chess set are the ace up your sleeve? The what up my what? Oh, yes, the chess set up the ace's sleeve.
He's sizing him up? What's he doing?
It looks like it's sizing up a picture. That's right, Edgeworth, I've got a winning hand as usual. Only, your winning hand is a busted flush. For you see, it was Simeon Saint who brought that chess set to the victim in the first place. Therefore, it's only natural that his fingerprints are all over it. Huh. Finally see him a little,
Flustered, I guess?
yeah. That took a while to sink in. In conclusion, those fingerprints aren't proof of anything, and Mr. Saint's arrest was premature. Premature.
I don't know what that means.
The incident took place here within the walls of this facility. And being neither a guard nor a prisoner, it makes very little sense to suspect Mr. Saint. Oh. Now what? Hee. I think you might be the premature one here, Edgeworth. And to think you were the one accusing me of being hasty. Do you only just work out what that word means? Sure, I identified Mr. Saint as a suspect faster than pretty much anybody else. And I won the race when it comes to picking out the crucial evidence, too. I'm quick on the draw, you see. But hasty? Not at all. You're right that Mr. Saint isn't a guard or a prisoner here, but he was. Eustace. Judge Gavelle. But out, Gavelle, I have him right where I want him. Forgive me, Eustace, but if I may. While the particulars of the suspect are indeed fascinating, don't we have something a little more impressive to share with the prosecutor? Something more impressive? If you wouldn't mind, Mr. Edgeworth, Eustace made an ingenious deduction concerning the murder weapon. Perhaps you would like to hear it? Yes, of course, that. Well remembered, Gavelle. Listen to this, Edgeworth, and prepare to be amazed. Will this ingenious deduction explain why Mr. Saint was arrested? Let's just say you won't be disappointed. Judge Gavelle deliberately diverted the conversation away from my line of questioning. What exactly is she up to? Fact 1. The murder weapon was some sort of metal blade. Fact 2. Potentially deadly blades are strictly controlled within the prison walls, as we both know. From these two facts, I concluded that the weapon in question must have come from outside. It must have been hidden inside the chess set. That's what I think, anyway. And does the only prints we found in the chess set belong to the victim and the suspect? I'd say it's blindingly obvious you brought the weapon in and used it, wouldn't you? If nothing else, his testimony this time is a little more comprehensible than the last. Another winning deduction brought to you by one winner, Eustace, prosecutor extraordinaire. More like one winner, useless prosecutor extraordinaire, if you ask me. But how could anyone even hide a weapon inside that chess set? Yeah, good question. Why don't you take a look for yourselves? Inside the chessboard, I suppose there's only one way to find out.
We didn't open it, did we?
No, in fact, we tried to, and then we were told not to by ourselves, I think. Wait, no, we did open it. There's nothing in here but chess pieces. Yeah. Oh, that laugh is really something. He seems pretty convinced the weapon was hidden in here somewhere. I'd better take a closer look. There's probably like a false,
Bottom or something.
Yeah. What? The stuff lining at the top opens like a flap door. Whoa, there's plenty of room in there. Indeed, more than enough to hide something like a small knife. Ingenious, no? The killer stuck the weapon in by... Ha! Huh? What do you mean, huh? Let me finish, will you? Is he crying? I fear you've not been listening, Mr. Winter, or perhaps you've simply forgotten. The detention center is outfitted with a security gate. Huh? I mean, yeah, and? The security gate also acts as a metal detector, Eustace. We must pass through another one on the way into the prison itself, remember? Yes, that's right, of course I remember. He definitely didn't. It would have been impossible to smuggle a metal blade through such a gate and into the facility, which would seem to blow a rather large hole in your reasoning, Mr. Winter. That gate is only used to scan people. Any items they bring into the facility are only subjected to a cursory check. Are you telling me that the chess set wasn't put through the metal detector? It should have been. Alas, it seems the guards have grown a little lax in that regard of late. Very good. Thank you, Gavel. It was my pleasure. Now, Mr. Edgeworth, if you would be so kind as to begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination? It's like she's holding a trial. Madam. Let's see how well this ingenious deduction of Mr. Winter's holds up, shall we?
Hold it!
Metal blade, you say? And do you have any evidence to support this? Ha! You mean you didn't even look at the victim's injuries? Why am I not surprised, you third-rate? The fatal blow was a stab wound to the neck. And it was delivered by a knife-like blade. That much is absolutely beyond doubt. It appears that they're not yet aware of a certain other piece of information. The dog. Yeah, lost for words, are we? But I'll just keep going. My brilliant deductions don't end there, you know.
Hold it!
The fact that such objects are strictly controlled doesn't mean they're actually forbidden. Well, no, I mean some of the prisoners used scissors to cut the animal's hair, and that avenue of inquiry was conscientiously pursued, as you no doubt recall, Eustace. Yes, only one bladed object has been signed out by a single prisoner at the time of the incident. That item was tested for traces of blood, but none were found. I suppose he's referring to the scissors Mr. Sawett was using. So there's no way the blade in question came from inside the prison. With those two facts, I concluded that the weapon in question must have come from outside. Oh, whoops.
Hold it!
Outside? What does that mean exactly? Ha ha! The opposite of inside, you numbskull! Is that an attempt at clarification or a put-down? Because it clearly accomplished neither. What Eustace means to say is that it must have been brought in from the outside of the prison, by Mr. Saint. Honestly, Edgeworth, if you haven't figured that out by now, then you're an even bigger loser than I thought. The feeling's mutual, believe me. Mr. Saint clearly brought the murder weapon inside the prison. The question is how.
Hold it!
But no murder weapon was found at the crime scene, and there's nothing inside the chessboard either. I'm curious, Mr. Winter, do you also have thoughts about where this weapon might be? Well, the perpetrator must have hidden it somewhere in the prison. Is there a problem with his claim? Sure. They hid it somewhere inside the prison. That seems unlikely. In fact, I can prove that's not the case. I think we have testimony to that effect? Yeah.
Take that!
I'm starting to worry about your memory, Mr. Winter. Didn't you and the good judge search the prison with Warden Glagord? And didn't you fail to find a likely murder weapon? Well, yes, but I guess we just missed it, that's all. Wow, way to undermine yourself. You're saying your search wasn't entirely thorough, you, the so-called winning rookie? Stop making fun of me! Oh dear. Eustace? Calm yourself. Breathe deeply. Do not allow your opponent to get under your skin. You're right. I'm a winner, but I should let a third-rate loser... Why should I let a third-rate loser like Edgeworthless here get under my skin? Edgeworthless, wow. I'll thank you to leave my name out of this. Well, I'm Kay Faraday, and I'm A-OK. Not you too, please. Look, it's simple. Since my first-rate investigation didn't turn up any weapon, it means there wasn't one to find. Which leaves only one possibility. The murderer took the weapon with him when he left the prison. That's why he couldn't find it when he looked, obviously. But what you are proposing is impossible, and this proves why the culprit couldn't possibly have taken the weapon out of the prison with them.
Take that!
Oh, whoops.
Overruled.
Oh.
Take that!
More memory trouble, Mr. Winner. Now you're forgetting things you yourself said. Are you making fun of me again? Oh, so you remember what I said. Perhaps you might have been better served by remembering this. What's that? Wait, does he seriously not remember? It would certainly seem that way. There is a security gate at each of the entrances to the detention center in the prison proper. Coming from the prison, anyone leaving the facility would have had to have passed through both of them. 2 gates, both fitted with metal detectors. Oh wait, now I remember. Looks like he got his memory back. So as you can see, there's no way anyone could have taken a weapon out through both gates. And therefore, there is no way the murder weapon could have left the building. Ah! In which case, Mr. Edgeworth, perhaps you would care to tell us what you think the murder weapon, where you think the murder weapon might be. It is still here on the premises, that's the only plausible conclusion to be drawn. We searched the prison from top to bottom and couldn't find anything. Because you were never going to find anything to begin with. Not when you were laboring under the misconception that it's a blade you were looking for. Yeah, we know the truth about what happened to Mr. Knight. We've seen it with our own eyes. That is quite the claim. I assume you have the evidence to support it. What is the weapon that was used to commit the crime?
Take that!
This is footage taken from a security camera trained on Knight's holding cell. Now watch it for yourselves and see. What? But how? This footage captured the moment the victim was attacked by a black dog. More than sufficient proof of how he really died, wouldn't you say? Yes, it's certainly significant. So now we know that Knight was in fact killed in his cell by a vicious dog. A dog that moved the victim's body to the prison workshop post-mortem. We know this thanks to an eyewitness who saw the dog in the workshop when the body was discovered. Of course, I think we can all agree that there is no way the dog could have planned such a crime itself. Indeed, I fear it may be his handiwork after all. That's quite enough of that, Mr. Edgeworth. Judge Cavell? You are correct that this footage is an important piece of evidence, but it also raises an important new question. A question that I suspect you must also have been asking yourself. She's right, there is one major problem with my version of the events. The black dog, the one that belongs to one of the inmates, how did it move between the holding cells and the prison proper at will? Oh. How do we answer that one, Mr. Edgeworth? The truth is, I don't know yet. Of course not. Can I, Wonder Boy? You didn't even notice there was a problem. Until the defense provides an adequate explanation, the court cannot accept your line of logic. That is all. This court is adjourned. But wait, there's still so much more to explore. Court is no longer in session, Mr. Edgeworth, if you would be so kind as to leave the courtroom. Court was never in session in the first place. Once again, this court is... We may not have all the answers yet, but you haven't explained anything either regarding Mr. Saint. What do you mean? Just as we don't yet know how the dog made it into one of the detention center's holding cells, you can't know how Mr. Saint could have made it inside the detention center, let alone the prison either. He would have been allowed as far as the visitor's room to see his friend, but no further. So it's hard for me to conceive how he could have committed the crime in a place he had no access to. Judge Cavell, I believe it's your turn to provide some proof. Proof that Simeon Saint was able to enter the prison. Haha. You wish for the court to provide you with proof? Highly irregular, but very well. What? They actually have something? Now seems like a good time as any. And I suppose you have been kind enough to share your own theories on the case. What's she building up to here? Mr. Edgeworth, I suspect you don't know what Mr. Saint does for a living, so allow me to fill you in. He is a circus performer. A what? Yes, perhaps you've heard of the Berry Big Circus? Ah! You see it now, I assume. As I am sure you were aware, a show was held yesterday for the prisoners' entertainment. A show featuring animals and performers performed by members of the Berry Big Circus. So, does that mean Mr. Saint... Yes, Mr. Saint was allowed inside the prison as part of that show. A fact that has been confirmed beyond reasonable doubt. Ugh! She's held on to that fact until the last possible moment. She let me run with my own theory, and only afterwards did she use it to reveal the truth. Wait. But Alcavel, I have him right where I want him. That must be why she steered him onto a different topic back then. Yeah, I got you good, didn't I, you third-rate prosecutor? This has nothing to do with you. Gentlemen, this court is well and truly adjourned. If I may offer a word of advice, Mr. Edgeworth, your conduct as a prosecutor is already in question. You would do well to remember that you were removed from this case for that precise reason. What are you trying to say? That the committee reserves the right to confiscate your badge at any time. Should you wish to retain it, you would do well to avoid crossing paths with us again. Is that a threat? The goddess of justice is compassionate, Mr. Edgeworth. She is not endlessly forgiving. Oh, and one last thing. You are no defense attorney. Abandon this foolish pretense. Thank you for your concern. But I do not abandon anything. What I start, I finish. Well, do try to remember that the two jobs are not one and the same, and that a defense attorney is expected to develop something of a bond with their client. Next time, finding out your client's real occupation might be a good place to start. Ugh. Now, I really must be going. May the goddess of justice watch over you all. Dang, she got us good. Can't believe she held on to that fact.
I think she wanted to back you into a corner.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I say I can't believe. I can believe, but she was quite good at it. So Simeon lied to us. Not just you two, Guy took me for a ride too. What's his deal? Also, I like this Fender character. There's probably more to him that we're going to find out, and I hope he's like totally legit, but I enjoy his personality. Whoa, you're not having second thoughts about all of this, are you, Milesy boy? Sure, Judge Gavelle is a tough cookie, but that doesn't mean you can just give up the ghost. The defense never rests, as a wise man once said. And that goes for associates, too. Don't worry, Fender, I have no intention of resting. Nevertheless, our assumption that Mr. Singh couldn't have entered the prison has been proven false. Which means we'll need to restart our investigation from square one, I'm afraid. To be continued. Good stopping point?
Yeah.
Ladder, the Berry Big Circus. So we're ending like the last third of the case now. Probably have 2 more parts left. But an interesting case so far. I'm not sure who did it. I think there are several suspects I have in mind.
There's quite a lot going on.
Yeah. And I kind of like that. I kind of like that even if you suspect anybody you cross paths with, there's a lot of people to suspect here. But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll find out maybe not next. Well, we might figure it out next time, but we might not finish the case until maybe 2 times from now, you know?
Yeah.
But we'll see. Been interesting. So far, I'd say I like the gameplay additions to this game. I like the chess stuff. I think is a cool new gameplay element to add to the investigation. I think they've had an interesting additions to the soundtrack. I'm very Eustace is a funny character.
Like only 17.
Yeah. He's very sure of himself, but there's a lot he doesn't know. But this woman, Gavelle, is quite a capable foe here. And
What is she to Eustace? Is she just a mentor, or is she almost is motherly to him?
yeah, and that I'm not 100% on. Fender, he's been a very interesting addition. Um, I'm thinking we'll find out more about his past connections to Edgeworth. But I've quite enjoyed him as well. I don't know. I'm just liking the game in general. It's been quite delightful. All right, so we finished today, and well, we got a weekend ahead of us. We got plans, but we do have time this weekend.